think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all and all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you, so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things anew, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you, so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light, and God needs us to shine its light, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you, so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back, choir. It's wonderful to have you here again today. It is a joy to welcome all of you here. Let's just take a moment and center ourselves into this space. And we affirm together our invocation. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. Again, there is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. I think the mic's just a little hot. Thank you. So again, we welcome all of you who are here this morning in the room, and those who are joining us via live stream. Know that even though you aren't here in the space with us, that you are connected to us heart to heart and soul to soul, and we are so very grateful that you have chosen to be with us today. Certainly, this is a place of affirmation. It is a place that affirms you as the beloved child of God that you are in truth, and we are so glad that you are here. Let's stand and sing. Send our children on the way to the classroom this morning with Miss Cindy and Miss Suzanne. So let's sing them on their way with We Are Walking in the Light. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light.
Beautiful Sunday morning. And inside the space, every time the choir sings, the energy that's produced by the voices and the gifts of song that you bring is just amazing. Thank you. I'm Paula Land, and I am the platform assistant for today. I am also your board president. And I would like to welcome all of you who have come here for the first time. And if you have not already, please grab a guest packet that is on our welcome table out in the foyer. And it's great to have you all here. I clearly dressed for a picnic today. So woohoo, we're having a picnic, a loaves and fishes picnic at the Green Pavilion at Guthridge Park in Hiawatha. Maps are on the welcome table if you don't want to plug it into your GPS. The special events team, raise your hand if you're on the special events team, because I know you guys put a lot of work into all of our awesome. Thank you so much. Your efforts help build community and create great opportunities for us to come together. But they will be providing smoked turkey burgers, regular burgers, veggie burgers, and you are asked to bring your side dish or whatever loaves and fishes offering you want to bring. And we know that there will be plenty. Before you head to the park, if you could join Jane Tapmeyer in the bookstore, she will be working with the team to prepare meals for the Willis Stady folks. So please consider doing that before you leave. And while you're in the Sacred Grounds and Books, take a look at the different titles that we have. That we have a lot of new offerings, and I looked at them, and I'm trying to decide which ones I want to take home with me. But it's super easy now because we have a person who is sitting at the table ready to check you out with your credit card or debit card. Or cash is good too, or checks. There are also some cards and crafted items, and the sale of those with our Community Creates team. Raise your hand if you are creative in creating some of those cards and beautiful items. Yes, thank you, thank you. So many ways that we share our gifts here at Unity CR. But all of the proceeds of that will be going to the annual fundraiser. There is a team that is participating in the Especially for You breast cancer race. And if you haven't already signed up, it's not too late. You can certainly do that. The race is on Sunday, October 1st. And I know it's a Sunday, but it always gets over in time for you to get back to service here on Sunday. So Susan Liddell is our contact there, and she will be happy to assist you with any information. Debra, would you like to share some updates for us?
So we are the last Sunday, the last week of our annual fundraiser. And with the match that was put before us last year, we are at $23,000. As you know, our goal is 25. I know some other gifts have come in between when we last tallied our gifts and now. I would venture to guess we're only about $1,000 away from meeting our goal. So if you have not participated or you want to bump us up over our goal, please do that today. We are so excited that we have truly met that goal. And thank you for all of you who have participated, giving of yourselves and sharing your loaves and your fishes with UCR. Thank you.
It's amazing. Last week we were at like 5,700. The announcement of the match was a $5,000 match was made, and look at where we are 1 week later. Incredible. So if you have a prayer concern today, we have our prayer room partner, Polly Gould. She's sitting over here, and she will, thank you, Polly. Polly's a great prayer. She can pray with you in the prayer room right over here. She's also our Sunday assistant, so if you have any questions, you can certainly ask her about those. Please join me now in our statement of purpose. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We gather to create an experience of spirit. At Unity CR, we offer practical teachings to empower abundant and meaningful living. Meeting you right where you are, we endeavor to provide a variety of ways to support your path of spiritual living. Our mission is to provide spiritual awareness and share the wonder and joy of God's love. And now we will enjoy the words from the Daily Word. World peace. I join with others to build a peaceful world. The world's problems can feel so overwhelming and its needs so great that I may wonder how my individual efforts could make much of a difference. But every action I take can contribute to world peace. I remember there are people throughout the world who feel the way I do. So many are doing what they can do to bring light and love to their neighborhoods and communities. I feel comforted, realizing I am not alone in my efforts. Peace begins with each person and inspires as it spreads, uniting the world's people to live and thrive in harmony and cooperation. We are meant to live in peace. I hold that vision and offer compassionate service as a way to make my dream for world peace a reality for all of us. From Romans 14:19, let us then pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding.
So I'm going to sing the little words, and you sing the big, bold words. Okay?
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let my steps reveal a path of peace. Let my steps reveal a path of peace. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me share the good that's overflowing. Let me share the good that's overflowing. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me care for those around the world. Let me care for those around the world. Oh, let me talk each day a little kinder. Let me talk each day a little kinder. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy
So today, before the meditation, we're going to do ohms, all of us. And I want to welcome, we've got a new member of the choir. There's a cricket. So let's all give him a big welcome. I don't know what part he sings. Sounds like soprano. All right, let's do our ohms. Tom, do you want to do this? So we do 4 ohms.
comfortable place in your chair. Take a deep breath. Let the vibration of the ohms just flow through you. Let them bring you peace. Let them vibrate within you and remind you of the life and the intelligence that flows through every cell of your being. As we listen to the chirping of the cricket this morning, we are reminded that nature is all around us and that we are an integral part of creation itself. And not only are we a part of creation, we are co-creators with the divine and stewards of the manifest blessings. We are here to be the hand, the heart, the voice of God in expression. We are here to respond to this divine impulse of the Creator itself. We are here to respond to the impulse of love as we serve one another. We are here to be the instantiation of the Creator of creation itself. We are here to love, to heal, to anchor something of the divine in this world, to recognize the divinity that is within all creation, expressing through it as it. And we are here to give a good measure of ourselves in service to one another. We are here as stewards. We are here to care, to love, to grow, to heal, to transform. To make manifest the glory of God. So as we rest now in silence and in quietness, we open ourselves to the glory within us, the power within us, the divinity within us, and within all creation in the silence. Creator, sustainer, we are so grateful for this time in which we have remembered that we are indeed your stewards, your partner in creation. We thank you for reminding us in this moment that it is your nature to give and it is our divine impulse to do the same. To give something of this divine essence within us that expresses through us as us to the world. And we send a blessing today to the person in front of us, behind us, to the left, to the right of us, responding to that impulse of love and to love. And we send forth our blessing of healing and transformation into the world to do its good and perfect healing work. And as we bring our attention back to this time and to this place, as we become aware of our surroundings and those around us, we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And so it is, and so it shall ever be. Amen.
I think it comes on when we sing. There are times when you might feel aimless and can't see the places where you belong, but you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along, and when you're near it, you can almost hear it. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious.
Amazing. So wonderful. Thank you. Indeed, glorious is what our choir is. Today is the last lesson in our series, Loaves and Fishes, and the first week we discussed what it means that God is the source of all our good, that God is this realm of possibility and potential that we reach into with our thoughts and our desires and shape and mold and fashion into that which we seek to express. The second week we looked at what is the abundant life. Well, it means many things to many people. It means not only financial abundance, but also health of body and a centered mind and heart, a sense of purpose that we just shared. Last week we talked about the multiplying power of gratitude and how gratitude keeps us in that place of openness and willingness to receive. And today, our last Sunday, we're sharing some ideas around the holy practice of stewardship. What is a steward? Well, the dictionary defines it this way: a person who manages another property or financial affairs, one who administers anything as the agent of another. The person who is charge of the household of another, buying or obtaining food, directing the household. And I'm reminded of that great line in Paul's epistles that we are no longer Jew or slave or male or female, but we are fellow citizens of the household of God. That we're all members of the household of God, all of us. And not only are we members of the household, but we are stewards of that household. And what does that mean? It means that we are here to be co-creators with God, to be participants in creation, to be the very presence of God instantiated, made manifest in this world, to uplift, to heal, to bless, to prosper it, and to serve one another. That's what this means. And it means that we are to take care of creation as well. It means that we are to be mindful of our siblings. We are to be mindful of the condition of the world around us and do what we can to uplift and to heal and transform it as it is needed. We see this idea of stewardship laid out very clearly in the gospel story that we're using as the basis of our series this month, and that is in Luke 9. You remember the story. We've shared it every week during the month. Jesus is healing and preaching and teaching a multitude of people, and the disciples said that these people need to be fed, and Jesus says, give them something to eat, and they balk at that, but Jesus multiplies the 2 loaves and the 2 fish and the 5 loaves, and he feeds, according to Luke, 5,000 people, 5,000 men, not counting the women and children. And as I've shared, the number 5 means new beginnings. The number 50 means new beginnings in the gospel. And so we have 5,000. We have a couple of extra zeros here to underscore that this is a new beginning. It is a new moment in which we are learning that we can share and grow and serve one another by meeting each other's needs. A new beginning, a new sense of community. But we're also told that after everyone was fed, that the disciples practiced good stewardship, that what was left over they gathered up into 12 baskets of broken pieces. They picked up the leftovers. They didn't waste it. They collected it. Now, it doesn't tell us, the gospel account doesn't tell us what they did with it, but I assume that they shared it and used it. But that's what we are to do as well. We are to care for what we have been given. We are to care for the blessings that have manifested in our lives. One of the things as a minister over the years that I've been very clear about is that we need to take care of the space in which we meet each Sunday morning. We need to, as best we can, keep it clean and straight and repaired, because that's part of our stewardship as a church, but it is also part of what it means to be a co-creator with God. We are to take care of that which has been given to us. We do the same in our lives. We take care. We allow ourselves to cast aside any sense of wastefulness, and we care for the blessings in our lives. And that's part of this process of gratitude as well. It's part of this process of being in this posture of appreciation and thanksgiving. We are grateful for all the good that we are expressing in our lives. But not only are we to take care of that which we have manifested, the things that we temporarily possess perhaps, but we are to take care of one another as well. We are to take care of one another as well, to pick up those that have been cast off, those leftovers, if you will, those that aren't cared for, to bring those fully into our circle of love. So we are not only to give our time and our talent, our treasure, but something of this impulse of divine love in us to gather, to heal, to bless, to transform. I've been here almost 4 years, so you've heard the story. At least this will be your fourth time at least, because I share it every year. And it's a story, a parable from my favorite poet, Rabindranath Tagore. I had gone a-begging from door to door in the village path when thy golden chariot appeared in the distance, like a glorious dream, and I wondered, who was this king of all kings? My hopes rose high, and I thought my evil days were at an end, and I stood for alms to be given unasked, and for wealth to be scattered on all sides of me in the dust. The chariot stopped where I stood. Your glance fell on me, and you came down with a smile, and I felt that the luck of my life had come at last. And then all of a sudden, you just hold out your right hand and say, what have you to give me? Oh, what a kingly jest was it to open your palm to a beggar to beg. I was confused and stood undecided, and then from my wallet I took out the least little grain of corn and gave it to you. But how great my surprise when at the day's end I emptied my bag on the floor and found the least little grain of gold among the poor heap. I bitterly wept and wished that I had had the heart to give you my all. How often have we regretted not giving our all in love to one another, in compassion? Oh, to have the heart to give God, to give one another these manifestations of the divine all around us, our all. Our first impulse is to give. That is our first impulse, but sometimes because of our fear, we fail to give of ourselves to one another, to allow ourselves to be this vessel for some purpose, as Emily Cady reminds us in Lessons in Truth, for a divine purpose, to be here to uplift and to heal and to bless one another. So often we play our life so close to the vest, so afraid of showing one another the magnificence of our being and responding to the impulse of that glorious self that we are in truth. Jesus said, let your light shine. Don't hide your light in Matthew. And isn't it time to let your light shine? And friends, the best way to do that is to respond to this impulse of divine love, to give to one another of your time, your talent, and your treasure, to truly be that divine steward on this planet. The blessings that we experience in life are the result of our being open to this creative flow. Your intention to give opens you even more to the flow of the divine in and through you. So the impulse of God is to give, and the impulse of creation is to create. So what is God wanting and willing and able to create in and through you as you open yourself to be this co-creative partner with God? the same explosion of cosmic energy that created the universe and everything in it is within us. We are a microcosm of that same creative energy. I had a minister, Martha Judici, whom I became a licensed Unity teacher with at the Unity Village Chapel a long time ago. They were my ministers, Frank and Martha. And Martha used to get really upset with people about this statement. We would hear people say, oh, we all have a spark of divinity in us. And she would stop us and say, you do not have a spark of divinity. Well, wait a minute, I thought we did. No, you have the fullness of divinity in you. Not a spark, but the wholeness of it itself. Are we God Almighty? No. But are we the expression of the fullness of that divinity? Yes, we are. We are not a spark. Maybe in our consciousness we might have a spark of that. But as we open ourselves more and more and more to the creative life and intelligence and power that is the very presence of God within us, we find that we are a roaring fire of gloriousness, if that is a word. We are not a spark. We are the dynamic thing itself. And part of this dance of creation is giving and receiving. And we are most godlike when we give to one another, when we serve to one another, when we share something of our time and our talent and our treasure with one another. God is always giving. That is God's nature. God is the essence of givingness itself. And if we are to receive, we give. It is the expression, it is the dynamics of this creative impulse. And I don't mean that we give to get. This isn't transactional. The type of giving that I'm talking about is transformational, not transactional. It is that which recognizes this reciprocal process of giving and receiving, because we are co-creators. God is giving, we receive, and we respond and give from the fullness of that in our own being. In the 7 spiritual laws of success, Deepak Chopra writes, we must give and receive in order to keep wealth and affluence, or anything you want in life circulating in your life. If you want joy, give joy. If you want love, give love. If you want material affluence, give that. But again, this is not a quid pro quo with God. This is not transactional. This is transformational. It is the way that we are truly holy stewards on this planet. Giving and receiving are aspects of the same experience, the dynamic expression of God's creative energy. And Jesus tells us, as we give, we will receive, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. But the intention for the giving is important. Again, giving is not a business deal. It is not a transaction. It is not a quid pro quo with God. And unfortunately, we have some who teach the prosperity gospel who teach it that way, that if you want money, you need to tithe. Well, again, Deepak Chopra says, what you want to receive in life, you give. There's a certain energy to that is consistent and congruent. But we can always give something. We can always give. And it isn't transactional, it is transformative. We here at Unity teach the law of tithing. This is when you share 10% of the word tithe means tenth, of your spiritual gifts, your spiritual good, to the place, the person from which you are spiritually fed. It is the way that we participate in this law of giving and receiving. But I think that the most mature understanding of that dynamic can be found in the book Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth. And he shares this in quite a provocative way, but a deeply spiritually mature way. He says, tithing is not a law, but a practice that helps to train us to move into the giving consciousness. So the Old Testament view of tithing was one of duty and obligation, but Butterworth points out that Jesus was quite critical of that rigid, empty practice. He says Jesus invites us into a giving consciousness. You see, again, not transactional, but transformative. We must give. That is the dynamic of life. And too often our tithing is viewed as a way to get rather than seeing it as a celebration or a response to that which God has made manifest in our lives. Tithing, according to Butterworth, is a set of training wheels that indeed gets us into that consciousness. Not a rigid duty, because if you are giving from a sense of duty and obligation, it is not given in joy. And it is not being given from that impulse of the divine moving in and through you. Many of us grew up in a spiritual tradition where tithing was often viewed as coercive. But it is indeed co-creative. Again, with a mature sense of what it means to give. It's not an end, according to Eric Butterworth, but a helpful means toward the end of living totally in a giving consciousness. It is not a gimmick. It is not a transactional process, but it is a outcropping, a manifestation of our commitment to be into this giving flow and into this flow of abundance and prosperity. So I invite you to think about that, to think about this idea of giving, this systematic giving in your own life. My friend Albert Wingate, who was, I was his associate at Atlanta Unity Church, and then he and I served for a year and a half or 2 years at Unity of Naples Church as co-ministers. And he would often tell the story of growing up. He lived in a blue-collar area of Houston, Texas. That's where he grew up. And Albert would tell a story of going to a church. I think it was a Methodist church. And his parents were paycheck to paycheck. They often struggled financially. And so he remembers, this was in the 50s or 60s, and he remembers the offering plate going by, and he sees a check for like, I don't know, $50, $100, which was a lot of money in those days, right? Still is a lot of money. And he asked his mother about it, saying, oh my gosh. And she says, yeah, those are one of the tithers. And so he asked his mother, what is a tither? And she shared, well, they're the ones who give 1/10 of their income to the church. And she didn't say anything else about it, but she said this, those folks always seem to do a little better. And that stuck with him because it didn't mean that because they gave, they received as a transaction. They had put themselves into that process, into that movement of giving, into that flow of giving itself, and opened themselves to more. And so I invite you to think about that. Tithing in unity is not something coercive. It's not something that we demand, but it's something that we teach as a way to put yourself into this transformational flow of divine energy. And so as we end our series this week, I invite you to understand that you are indeed a steward of God's good on this planet. You are here to share of the abundance of your spirit, to let your light shine, to serve one another, and to open yourself to the flow of abundance that is available to you every moment, in every experience, and to be that participant in creation, to be that co-creator with God as we transform and heal the planet. God needs you. And so I invite you, as our first song we shared together today challenged us to say to God, use me to be this steward here on earth. God bless you.
You see all those words up there? Here are the words to the chorus. We're going to sing that many times, and at one point I'm going to invite you to join. So,
If you want more happy than your heart will hold, if you want to stand taller if the truth was told, take whatever you have and give it away. If you want less lonely and a lot more fun and deep satisfaction when the day is done, throw your heart wide open and give it away. In the garden when I happened by, he waved me over with that look in his eye, started breaking off some ears of corn. He said, here boy, today this corn is just right, take it home for your supper tonight. We used to say, quite as good till you give it away. If you want more happy than your heart will hold, if you want to stand taller if the truth was told, take whatever you have and give it away. If you want less lonely and a lot more fun and deep satisfaction when the day is done, throw your heart wide open and give it away. A lot of water gone over the dam since that day in the garden with my Uncle Sam. I hope you'll hear these words I have to say. Well, there's two kinds of folks. There's takers and givers. There's gripers and complainers and big-hearted livers. I hope you have these words now to say. We can't hold up all we got or give all away. If you want more happy than your heart will hold, if you want to stand taller if the truth were told, take whatever you have and give it away. If you want
Here they come with the baskets. Yeah, please join me in blessing these baskets and the abundance they will soon receive. We see these baskets as symbols of the potential available to each of us. As we participate in the sacred act of giving and receiving, we give joyously, we receive thankfully, and we give again gratefully. Now please join me in the blessing of our tithes and offering. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
We join with all those who have asked us to pray with them and for them. We also remember the brothers and sisters, our siblings in Maui, Jacksonville, Florida, all those who may be in the path of a storm this week as well. We know that God is a healing, protecting, life-giving presence, blessing all those who have asked us to pray with them, those that we have spoken forth today, and all those ones who remain unspoken as well. We know that mighty currents of God's healing love is flowing in and through all of them, mighty to heal, to bless, and to prosper them in every good thing. And we dedicate and we consecrate these tithes, gifts, and this offering to the will and the work and the way of the Christ, as it expresses through this ministry of love and service as stewards of the manifest blessings of God. And so it is, and so it shall ever be. Amen. Let's stand and join together in singing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."
Peace
God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. God bless you all. Join us for the picnic.
D.